Hey, Jermaine. Over here. So, sorry.
Okay.
So obviously, when you play receiver, drops are going to happen. But as a group, what things are you guys doing to work on making sure those are minimized as much as possible this season?
Uh, that is definitely a good point. And so, we really take initiative into our own hands and staying after practice, doing whatever it takes, getting on the jug machines, doing drills with the weighted like 2 pound ball, a lot of stuff like that. But mainly just, repetition of it, just catching, because you're not going to get all the catches you need in practice. So, it's up to you to stay after practice and make sure you get the good amount of catches you need.
You led all the receivers in yards last year, but you haven't really gotten the hype this
hmm
offseason. Do you kind of feel like you're being slept on heading into your second season with the team?
Uh, considering all outside noise and whatnot, it's natural. People are gonna talk the outside news media, but at the end of the day, we still have one goal, and that's to win. So, it doesn't matter. I'm not really focused on how many yards I have or any touches or touchdowns or anything like that. Pretty much if I can do the most minimum, but at the end of the day get a national championship with this team, I'll do it. So. Yeah, it's all about just pretty much how much we can contribute, and we have a lot of people that can contribute this year, so look forward to it.
You obviously are working with multiple quarterbacks, but just have you seen the chemistry come along with all those guys?
I've seen them all working. There's definitely a different drive in that room. I love the way they're working. I love the way they're trying to all communicate. We're just all leaving it up to them, to just come up with that chemistry and just waiting on the right amount of time just for it to click.
Which side likes the first day in full pads more, the offense or defense?
I'm gonna be honest. That's a tough question because we both. It's like we both all love it. So the defense, they're definitely gonna bring the energy. Always, every day, pads or not. So as an offense, we just love that kind of competitiveness because we're gonna see it in the season. So anytime we can all go at it, and make each other better, we always look forward to it.
Just what's been different this year with Tommy as offensive coordinator, and just has anything changed with your role in the offense?
Uh, Tommy, he definitely brings a light to that room. His energy, a guy that we can all trust, lean on as a coach. Even as well as not being a coach, just even maturing into a young grown man. He's definitely somebody that we look up to and really trust with his offense, and really listen to. Because he's just one of those guys. He's just when he talks, you want to listen. Like he just brings that attitude and energy to us. So we're gonna do whatever we can to go 100% behind him.
You talked about there's a lot of guys that can contribute. There's not a lot of upperclassmen in the receiver room, so maybe here are some of the younger guys that people should kind of keep an eye on throughout fall camp as the season starts.
hmm I'm like this is 100% honest. Each and every last young guy we have in that receiver room has the potential to be something, that it's just wasn't expected from anybody. And I really look forward to seeing how those guys work because how much we do every day, and how much they are young. So it's a lot on them, and to see them really fight through adversity when they're tired, and even ask questions. That's really my main thing is when I see young guys asking questions. Like that's really my motive of even going even harder because when a young guy asks questions, it just goes to show that they want to learn, that they want to be more involved, and that's what these young guys do. They want to work and they want to know, they want to ask questions and be more involved, and just have that role.
As a receiving core, are there challenges there when there are multiple quarterbacks getting first team reps, and does that add maybe pressure on some of you guys to just execute no matter who's throwing the ball?
Uh, yeah, pretty much, basically, whichever quarterback is in, it's our job as a receiver and as for that quarterback to go 100% regardless and, execute that specific play. So we really try to, slow more down on just trying to just go, and, really slow down and look at the play and execute each play by play.
You guys are going to have your first scrimmage on Saturday. As a receiving core, what do you guys look to prove in that moment?
Uh, Pretty much, we're still in the midst of creating our identity. So at the end of the day, we just look forward. We're trying to keep our tempo up. Trying to just go 100%, focus on each play and executing each play because, looking plays ahead or skipping plays ahead or trying to just look forward into the, it can make you fall off track. So I feel like just us taking it slow, each play by play, and making sure that we can execute each play is. the main goal.
Yeah, when you're in the second year with the program, you've been here, kind of taking your first lap, so to speak, and now you get to work toward the second year.
Mhm.
What are some of the differences you've noticed that things have been easier, things have been different for you in that second go-round?
Um, definitely, it's definitely a learning process and stepping into the roles of being more of a leader to the young guys and overall to the team. So, being around this team for the past year, I've really, just adapted off the atmosphere and environment. I feel like really this environment of like this team really put me into my mode, which makes me just want to see nothing but success and want to go harder. So the more I've been around these guys, the more I've become work driven and dedicated to them and seeing how much and understanding, each of my players, we all have different backgrounds and history and, we all have different whys, or it could be the same why our mom or a little brother or a little sister or anybody. So you never, when you learn what your teammate is doing it for, it makes you go harder because now you know why they're doing it and you know why they're going 100% for their family, and, it just makes you want to help them more. And yeah.
Did you know Trezman Marshall at all at Georgia, and have you got to know him here at all since he's been here?
Yeah, Trezman is like my brother. So, when he just came, he instantly just attached on. I pretty much gave him the rundown, like, fam, this is a tough atmosphere and environment, but as long as Trezman, it was really nothing. It coming from Georgia, he kind of like us being together. We always been kind of like workheads. So when he just got here, it pretty much just like kind of put him on, and he's really adapting well. So, but yeah, that's my brother.
I know open practice, spring game, watching games in the past, the DBs will sometimes do that like stab right away at the snap. As a receiver, what does that do when they're able to successfully do that, and also how do you beat that?
Immediately, it can happen in multiple ways of a stab of jam. You can eliminate that with, dipping your shoulder, or depending on what leverage they are. If they're outside leverage and they're already giving you the inside, you don't have to, you can pretty much just attack their outside, threaten the outside release, and if they try to protect it, slide in or slip inside. But majority, slip shoulders, hand to hand combat, stuff like that. Appreciate y'all.
Got Chris Braswell now. And just raise your hands and start over there.
Chris, as you sort of try and move up, take a full-time starter role this season, who are some of the guys behind you that you could see sort of sliding into that role you played last season?
Oh, we have a lot of guys, we're very depth at our position. Everyone's working hard, everyone's trying to focus on the little things and get better.
Just what's been your impression of Keon and Janze since they got here this summer?
Both of them are great guys, great young guys. They're still learning the system, and they both are very explosive. They play and run good, so yeah.
Kind of sticking with that theme, do you feel like your outside linebacker room is maybe the deepest on the roster?
One of the deepest, we got a lot of guys, a lot of position groups. They have a lot of guys as well, and we just all be trying to work. We all trying to get better, and focus on the little things, be disciplined. Just trying to tighten up as a team.
Hey, Chris, being around Will Anderson for a few seasons, what's the biggest thing that you learned from just being in his vicinity?
Like I said, it goes back to the little things. He was always, focusing on little things, being disciplined, hand behind the line, focusing on your keys, looking at the offensive line, the ball, just really focusing on the little things. Ultimately, the little things that lead to the bigger things.
How much confidence did last year instill in you, and then also how much better do you feel at this point this year than you were at this point last year?
I feel a lot more confident, a lot more better. I've been working on a lot of things in my game. Obviously, getting better at pass rushing, striking the run block and everything like that, playing and run. Just getting better overall with everything. You could never be good at anything. You always can get better.
Going against them in practice, what have you seen from the guys that are competing at that left tackle position, guys like Caden and Elijah Pritchett?
Both of them are great guys. It's a lot of competition at the position, and both of them, they're both working very, very, very hard, and it's gonna be some competition, but they're both good.
Chris, which group do you think enjoys the first day in full pads more, the offense or the defense?
I'm going to say the defense. I'm a defensive guy, but we both, offense and defense, we both enjoy, the first day of pads. We want to get at it with each other, hit each other, bang with each other, get a little competition going, and ultimately make each other better.
I think Malachi talked about the up-down penalties for defensive people.
Yeah.
And Nick Saban talked a little bit about some of the discipline errors. Just how many up-downs have you done, and has that been something you guys have kind of keeping track of?
Yeah, so we, I did a couple up downs. I didn't do a lot, but yeah. So as a defense, if you jump off sides or you're in the neutral zone, we just got to get some up downs in. Just trying to show that discipline factor. We had a lot of penalties last year, so we're trying to clean that up on the defensive side. So we just want to remain disciplined as a team and especially as a defense.
Kind of bouncing off that, when we talked to Coach Steele, obviously he was here on Saban's first staff, and he talked about discipline at old school. Kind of what's it been like working with him, and kind of how have you seen that mentality from him?
Oh, it's been great. He's been honest, about, like I said, being disciplined, focusing on your keys, doing the little things right, finishing at the line. If the ball's on the ground, pick the ball up, scoop and score, focusing on getting the ball out, turnovers, everything. All of the little things that matter is what he focuses on.
With the first scrimmage on Saturday, what do you guys as an outside linebacker group maybe look forward to and maybe want to show out there on the field?
We just want to, remain disciplined, stay on sides on the ball, strike, come out our hips, pass rush, and just ultimately just be a great outside linebacker and set the tone for the team. Appreciate it.
Okay, last one, Terrion Arnold, raise your hands and questions.
Terrion, which group do you feel like enjoys the first day in full pads more, offense or defense?
Defense. I mean, I don't really know what kind of question that is. Like, the enthusiasm that we bring and that we have, definitely defense.
They brought in Trey Amos this offseason. Just what's that competition been like, and what have you learned from him being, a senior coming in from Louisiana?
I would say he's brought a lot of fire to the group, and he's made us a better group, better secondary. He brings a grit, toughness to the game, and he's kind of like the rest of us in the group. He's a perfectionist, so I would say we all gel well together, and we make each other better.
What's the most impressive thing you've seen Caleb Downs do since he got here?
Practice about day 3. We were in cover 2. They threw a 50-50 ball, made a crazy play, made a great play. The guy's a playmaker.
I think back in the spring, Coach Saban had talked about you playing corner and star. Is that still something that you're doing, maybe working at multiple spots?
Yes, sir. I feel comfortable all around the field now. Going into my 3rd year, it's something that you kind of get used to. I've seen a lot, played in a lot of big games, so I would say I feel very comfortable doing both of those things.
You guys talk a lot about iron, sharpening iron. How much responsibility do you guys feel as a secondary to kind of push the quarterbacks and make life as hard as you can to get the best out of them during this scrimmage?
I would say not only pushing the quarterbacks, pushing the receivers and the offense as a whole. Not really on the secondary, but really as a defense as a whole. So when we say iron sharpens iron, we're really talking about like the whole team competing and gelling together. So it's not really a secondary thing. It's more of like an offense-defense thing.
Bouncing off that, just throughout fall so far, kind of what have you seen out of the quarterbacks and receivers going against them in practice?
I've seen a lot of great things. It's a lot of great guys and a lot of competition. Like I would say as far as the quarterback-wise, I've seen leadership out of all the guys, out of the receivers. They have a tenacity and a ferociousness as far as just wanting to be better and wanting to uphold the standard.
Anyone else? Charlie?
What kind of progress have you seen from a guy like Earl Little who can do kind of what you're doing, play corner and star?
Like I said in one of my previous interviews, Earl is a playmaker, great teammate, great guy, and I've seen a lot of different things. I would say number one thing I've seen out of Earl is maturity. He doesn't get too high, doesn't get too low, and he just continues to come in here and work every day.
When we talked to Coach Steele the other day, he talked about the importance of discipline, kind of getting back to that Alabama standard. Is that something you've seen out of him, or what's it been like kind of working with him?
It's been great. Coach Steele is a great guy, great coach, and kind of like what I speak on as far as being a perfectionist. When we do pursuit drill, sometimes we don't line up the right way. He forces us to go back and really just kind of gets us going. As far as like his voice, like the guy has a crazy voice. Like when he gets us riled up, man, he's one of those guys who really gets you excited and really gets you in the mood to play.
Charlie?
With Saturday being the first scrimmage, how much do you guys as an entire secondary kind of look forward to going against the offense, and maybe what do you look to prove?
We go against the offense every day, so I would say it's just another day. Camp is all about competition. That's what we've been doing every day, so I would say it's just another practice.
Back to Kyle.
Hey, Terrion, thanks for being here. Specifically going up against two receivers, the challenges of going against Malik Benson and Isaiah Bond.
Speed kills. All I would say is speed kills. It's just speed, speed, speed. With those guys, they make us better, and they really, really push us.